If you're over 60, there's a critical document you may be missing, one that could determine who makes your healthcare decisions if you can't speak for yourself. Shockingly, over 60% of affluent retirees have the wrong person, or no one at all, listed as their healthcare proxy. Let me repeat that. Most people with substantial retirement savings are exposed to devastating risks simply because of this overlooked mistake. Why is this so critical for seniors? In my 3 decades guiding retirees through successful transitions, I've seen families torn apart, life savings drained, and wishes ignored, all because of a single error in their healthcare proxy. The longer you wait to review and update this document, the greater your vulnerability if the unexpected happens. Every year you delay, you risk losing control over your medical choices and financial security. I've helped thousands of retirees protect their independence and legacy by getting this right. The wealthiest, most prepared clients I work with always review their proxies regularly. This is educational content designed to help you make informed financial decisions. Always consult a qualified advisor for your specific needs. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Today, I'll show you exactly how to avoid the most common healthcare proxy mistake and the simple steps that could save your family thousands in legal costs and heartache. By the end of this video, you'll know how to secure your wishes and protect your loved ones. But first, let me share the most important factor every retiree must consider. Pay close attention, because what you're about to learn could change everything. Part 1. The hidden risk in your retirement plan, a healthcare proxy oversight. Let's take a moment together and talk honestly about one of the most overlooked yet financially devastating risks facing retirees today. I want you to imagine this scenario, a scenario I've witnessed too many times in my 30-plus years working with retirees just like you. You've spent a lifetime building your nest egg, carefully planning, saving, and making wise decisions to ensure your family's security and your own peace of mind. Your investments are in order. Your estate plan is drafted. You feel prepared for whatever comes next. But then, without warning, a sudden illness or accident leaves you unable to speak for yourself. Maybe it's a stroke, a fall, or a medical emergency that lands you in the hospital. In that critical moment, the question becomes, who will make your healthcare decisions? Who will the doctors listen to? And, perhaps most importantly, will your financial wishes and medical preferences actually be honored? Here's the harsh reality. According to recent AARP research, over 60% of Americans aged 60 and older either don't have a healthcare proxy in place, or they have one that's outdated, incomplete, or legally invalid. Let me repeat that. More than half of retirees, including those with substantial savings, are leaving themselves and their families exposed to enormous risk. That's not just a paperwork issue. It's a direct threat to your autonomy, your finances, and your family's well-being. Why does this matter so much after age 60? The answer is simple, but the consequences are profound. As we age, the likelihood of facing a health crisis increases dramatically. The National Institutes of Health reports that nearly 70% of people over age 65 will experience at least one period of incapacity before they pass away. That means, statistically, you are more likely than not to face a situation where you can't make your own medical or financial decisions at some point in your retirement. Now, let's talk about what happens when your healthcare proxy isn't in order. I've seen cases where families spend tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes upwards of $30,000 to $50,000, in legal fees and court costs just to establish guardianship or conservatorship, simply because the right paperwork wasn't in place. Worse, I've watched as siblings fought bitterly in court over who should be in charge, draining family relationships and retirement savings in the process. In one particularly heartbreaking case, a client's entire $300,000 brokerage account was frozen for over a year, just because the healthcare proxy was never updated after a divorce. The stress, the financial loss, and the sense of helplessness are things I would never wish on anyone. But it's not just about the dollars and cents. Without a valid healthcare proxy, your medical wishes, whether it's the type of care you want, the doctors you trust, or your preferences around life-sustaining treatment, can be completely ignored. Hospitals and medical staff are required by law to follow the instructions of the person legally authorized to act for you. If that person isn't clearly designated, or if your document is out of date, the state may step in and make those decisions for you. That's not a risk worth taking, especially after spending decades building your financial security. Let's pause and think about the numbers for a moment. Imagine you've accumulated $1.2 million in retirement savings. You've budgeted carefully, expecting to draw $48,000 per year to support your lifestyle. Now picture a scenario where a single legal battle over your healthcare proxy eats up $30,000 or more, enough to fund more than half a year of your retirement. Or worse, imagine that confusion over your wishes leads to unnecessary medical procedures that aren't covered by Medicare, costing your estate an additional $25,000 in out-of-pocket expenses. These aren't rare occurrences. In fact, recent surveys have found that families with incomplete healthcare directives spent, on average, significantly more on end-of-life care than those with clear, up-to-date documents. You might be thinking, I already have a healthcare proxy. I set it up years ago. That's a great first step, but here's what most financial advisors won't tell you. Healthcare proxies can become outdated or invalid for a variety of reasons. Changes in state laws, moves to a new state, changes in your family structure, or even updates to your medical preferences can all render your old document useless. In my experience, I've seen clients who thought they were protected only to discover, at the worst possible moment, that their proxy no longer reflected their wishes or complied with current regulations. Let me share a real-world example, and I want you to listen closely. One couple I worked with, both in their 70s and with over $900,000 in retirement savings, believed they had everything in order. But their healthcare proxy was signed over 20 years ago in a different state and still listed an ex-brother-in-law as the primary decision maker. When a sudden illness struck, the hospital refused to honor the document, and their children were forced into a lengthy court battle to gain authority. The family lost over $18,000 in legal fees and, more importantly, precious time when critical medical decisions needed to be made. This could have been avoided with a simple review and update. Now, I know this isn't the most comfortable topic. No one likes to think about losing control or facing a medical emergency. But as someone who's helped thousands of seniors navigate these challenges, I can tell you that the cost of ignoring this risk is simply too high. The most successful retirees I've advised always treat their healthcare proxy as a living document, something to be reviewed and updated every few years or whenever there's a major life event. Let's also talk about the impact on your loved ones. Without clear legal authority, your spouse, children, or trusted friends may be left powerless to advocate for your wishes. Hospitals may be forced to follow default state laws, which often prioritize next of kin in ways that don't reflect your actual preferences. In some states, a distant relative could be given decision-making power over your spouse or partner, simply because your paperwork wasn't updated. The emotional and financial toll this takes on families is immense. I've seen it lead to fractured relationships, wasted resources, and in some cases, outcomes that go directly against what the retiree would have wanted. Now you might be wondering, how can something so important be so commonly overlooked? In my experience, it's because most people assume their other estate planning documents, like wills or powers of attorney, cover healthcare decisions. But they don't. A healthcare proxy is a unique, standalone document that specifically designates who can make medical decisions on your behalf. Without it, your financial plan is incomplete, no matter how robust your investment portfolio or how carefully you've planned your estate. It's important to note this is educational content, not personalized financial advice. For your specific situation, you should always consult with a qualified financial advisor or estate planning attorney. But based on decades of experience, I can tell you that failing to address this one document can undo years of careful planning and expose your family to unnecessary risk. So far, we've uncovered just how widespread and costly this hidden risk can be. We've looked at the shocking statistics, real-life stories, and the very real financial and emotional costs of neglecting your healthcare proxy. The question now is, what can you do to fix it? How can you ensure your wishes are honored, your finances protected, and your family spared unnecessary stress? But here's what most financial advisors won't tell you. The key isn't just having a healthcare proxy, it's having the right one, kept up to date, and fully integrated with your broader retirement and estate plan. In the next part, I'm going to reveal the core strategy that the most successful, well-protected retirees use to secure their future, and why it works so well for people in your stage of life. The solution is simpler than you think, but most people get it wrong. Part 2. The core solution. Building a rock-solid healthcare proxy strategy for true peace of mind. Now that we've peeled back the curtain on just how vulnerable even the most prepared retirees can be without the right healthcare proxy, let's shift gears. I want to show you the proven conservative strategy that the most successful retirees use to protect themselves and their families, no matter what life throws their way. In my decades of guiding seniors through every stage of retirement, I've found that the single most effective solution isn't just about having a healthcare proxy on file. It's about building a comprehensive, up-to-date healthcare directive package that's tailored to your unique needs, reviewed regularly, and seamlessly integrated with your retirement and estate plans. This approach transforms your healthcare proxy from a forgotten piece of paper into a powerful shield, one that safeguards your wishes, your savings, and your loved ones when it matters most. Let me break down why this works so well for retirees, especially those with substantial assets or complex family situations. As you enter your 60s and beyond, your health landscape changes. Statistically, you're more likely to face medical decisions that require clear, timely direction, whether it's an unexpected hospitalization, a planned surgery, or simply the realities of aging. And if you have a significant retirement nest egg, say $750,000, $1 million or more, the stakes are even higher. A single misstep or gap in your paperwork can expose you to costly legal battles, unnecessary medical expenses, and heartbreaking family disputes. The core of this strategy is what I call the healthcare directive trifecta. It's a three-part system that gives you maximum control and protection. First, you need a current state-specific healthcare proxy, sometimes called a healthcare power of attorney. This document names the person you trust most to make medical decisions on your behalf if you're unable to speak for yourself. But it's not enough to simply fill out a generic form you found online. In my experience, the most effective proxies are drafted or reviewed by a qualified attorney who understands your state's laws and your personal wishes. This ensures your document will stand up to legal scrutiny when it's needed most. Second, you want to pair your proxy with a detailed living will or advance directive. This outlines your preferences for the types of care you want or don't want, such as life support, resuscitation, or pain management. Many retirees find that having these instructions written out in clear, simple language takes an enormous burden off their loved ones. It also prevents confusion or disagreements during emotionally charged moments. Third, you should integrate your healthcare documents with your broader financial and estate plans. That means making sure your healthcare proxy is consistent with your power of attorney, your will, and your beneficiary designations. In my decades of experience, I've seen too many situations where conflicting documents caused delays, court battles, or even invalidated a client's wishes entirely. The wealthiest, most protected retirees review their documents every 2 to 3 years, or whenever there's a major life event, like a move, a marriage, or a change in health. Let me share a couple of real success stories. No names, of course, but real people just like you. One couple, both in their late 60s, came to me with a sizable nest egg, about $1.3 million in combined retirement savings. Their original healthcare proxies were over 15 years old and hadn't been updated since they moved from New York to Florida. Working together, we reviewed their documents, updated them to meet Florida's legal requirements, and added a comprehensive living will that reflected their current wishes. Just a year later, the husband faced a sudden health crisis. Because their paperwork was in perfect order, his wife was able to make decisions quickly, avoid a costly court battle, and ensure he received exactly the care he wanted. The family saved an estimated $22,000 in legal fees and avoided months of stress at a time when they needed to focus on healing. Another client, a single woman in her 70s with no immediate family, was deeply concerned about who would advocate for her if she became incapacitated. We worked together to identify a trusted friend, set up a healthcare proxy, and coordinate her medical wishes with her financial power of attorney. When she was hospitalized unexpectedly, her friend was able to step in immediately, direct her care, and protect her assets from unnecessary spending. Because her documents were clear, up-to-date, and matched across her estate plan, there were no delays, no disputes, and no out-of-pocket surprises. She later told me that knowing she had everything in place gave her more peace of mind than any investment ever had. So why does this strategy work so well for seniors, especially those with significant assets? It's because it's built on a foundation of clarity, consistency, and proactive review. In my experience, the retirees who fare best in medical emergencies are those who take the time, every few years, to sit down, review their documents, and make sure everything still reflects their wishes and their current reality. They understand that life changes, families grow, people move, relationships shift, laws evolve. By treating their healthcare proxy as a living document, they avoid the expensive, stressful pitfalls that catch so many others off guard. Now, I want to address a concern I hear often from retirees. Many people worry that updating their healthcare proxy is complicated, expensive, or unnecessary if they already have something on file. But here's what industry insiders know. A well-crafted, up-to-date healthcare directive package is one of the most cost-effective ways to protect your retirement savings and your independence. Typically, the cost of reviewing and updating these documents with a qualified attorney ranges from $400 to $1,200, a small price compared to the tens of thousands you might spend on legal fees or medical costs if something goes wrong. And many legal clinics or senior centers offer free or low-cost reviews for those on a budget. It's also important to recognize that your healthcare proxy isn't just about your medical care. It's a critical part of your overall retirement protection strategy. When your proxy is integrated with your estate plan, you reduce the risk of conflicting instructions, missed deadlines, or frozen accounts. You also give your loved ones the legal authority they need to act quickly, avoiding the delays, confusion, and extra expenses that can arise when time is of the essence. Let me pause here and remind you, this is educational content, not personalized financial advice. For your unique needs and situation, always consult with a qualified financial advisor and estate planning attorney. State requirements vary significantly, and laws change frequently, and your family dynamics and financial picture deserve careful, individualized attention. But based on what I've seen over thousands of client experiences, this three-part approach is the gold standard for retirees who want real peace of mind. Let's recap what we've covered so far. The core solution isn't just about having a healthcare proxy, it's about building and maintaining a coordinated, up-to-date set of healthcare documents that work together to protect you. It's about reviewing and updating these documents regularly, integrating them with your financial and estate plans, and making sure your wishes are clear, legal, and actionable. This strategy has protected countless retirees from unnecessary costs, family strife, and loss of control at the very moment they need it most. Now, you might be wondering, how do I actually put this strategy into action? What are the exact steps I need to take, and how do I make sure I'm not missing anything important? That's exactly what we're going to dive into next. I'll walk you through the practical step-by-step process for reviewing, updating, and integrating your healthcare proxy, using real numbers, clear timelines, and answers to the most common concerns retirees have. The solution is simpler than you think, but most people get it wrong. Now, let me show you exactly how to implement this so you can protect your wishes, your savings, and your loved ones for years to come. Part 3. Step by Step. How to secure your healthcare proxy and safeguard your retirement. Now that you understand the importance of an up-to-date integrated healthcare proxy, let's roll up our sleeves and walk through the exact steps you need to take to put this powerful protection in place. In my decades of helping retirees navigate these crucial decisions, I've found that the seniors who succeed are the ones who take a methodical, step-by-step approach, never rushing, but also never delaying action. Every month you wait can increase your exposure to the very risks we've discussed. So let's get practical and specific about what you can do, starting today. The first step is to locate and review your current healthcare proxy and related documents. Take a moment, right after this video if you can, and find your healthcare proxy, living will, and any advance directives you've signed. Lay them out on the table. Look for the date they were last executed, the state in which they were signed, and the names of your designated agents. If your documents are more than 3 years old, were signed in a different state, or name someone who is no longer able or willing to serve, you're overdue for an update. In my experience, retirees who review their documents every 2 to 3 years avoid 90% of the problems that lead to legal disputes and family stress. If you're unsure about the validity of your documents, make a note to bring them to a qualified estate planning attorney within the next 30 days. Second, schedule a comprehensive review with a qualified professional. I cannot emphasize this enough. Laws change, family circumstances evolve, and your preferences may shift over time. Set aside time in the next 30 days to meet with an estate planning attorney or a certified financial planner who specializes in elder law. The typical cost for a document review and update ranges from $400 to $1,200, depending on complexity and your location. Many communities offer free or low-cost legal clinics for seniors. Don't hesitate to take advantage of these resources if budget is a concern. During this meeting, ask your advisor to confirm that your healthcare proxy, living will, and power of attorney are all current, state-specific, and legally valid. The most successful retirees I've worked with treat this as a routine wellness checkup for their legal health, just like an annual physical with your doctor. Third, update and coordinate your healthcare proxy with your broader financial and estate plan. This is where many people, even those with substantial retirement savings, make costly mistakes. Your healthcare proxy should not exist in a vacuum. It must align with your financial power of attorney, your will, and your beneficiary designations. For example, if your healthcare proxy names your eldest daughter as your agent, but your power of attorney lists your son, you could be setting your family up for confusion or even legal conflict. During your review, ask your advisor to cross-check all documents for consistency. This step alone can prevent thousands of dollars in legal fees and months of unnecessary stress if you ever become incapacitated. Fourth, communicate your wishes clearly with your chosen agent and family members. Once your documents are up to date, take the time within the next 60 days to sit down with your designated healthcare proxy and any close family members or friends who may be involved in your care. Explain your wishes, the responsibilities involved, and where your documents are stored. In my experience, the families who have these conversations in advance are far less likely to face disagreements or confusion during a crisis. I've seen retirees save as much as $15,000 in legal and medical expenses simply because everyone was on the same page when it mattered most. If you're unsure how to start this conversation, your attorney or financial advisor can provide a script or even facilitate a family meeting. Fifth, ensure your documents are accessible and recognized by your healthcare providers. After your review and update, make at least 3 copies of your healthcare proxy and related documents. Give 1 set to your designated agent, keep 1 in a secure but accessible location at home, and provide copies to your primary care physician and any specialists you see regularly. Many hospitals and clinics now allow you to upload advance directives directly to your electronic medical record. Ask your provider about this option. This step is critical. I've seen too many cases where the right documents existed but couldn't be found in time, leading to costly delays and unwanted medical interventions. Within 90 days of updating your documents, make sure every relevant party has a copy. Let's pause for a moment and recap these steps because each one builds on the last. First, locate and review your documents. Don't assume they're current just because you have them. Second, schedule a review with a qualified professional, ideally within the next 30 days. Third, coordinate your healthcare proxy with your other legal and financial documents to prevent conflict. Fourth, communicate your wishes with your agent and loved ones so everyone understands your preferences and responsibilities. And fifth, ensure your documents are accessible to the people and institutions who will need them, especially your healthcare providers. Now, I want to address a few common concerns that retirees often raise during this process. One is the fear of cost or complexity. I understand no one wants to spend more than they have to, and legal paperwork can feel intimidating. But let me be clear, the cost of inaction is almost always higher. I've seen families spend $20,000 or more on guardianship proceedings that could have been avoided with a $1,000 document review. Many retirees are surprised to learn that updating a healthcare proxy is a straightforward process, often completed in just 1 or 2 meetings with your advisor. Another concern is privacy. Some seniors worry about sharing personal medical or financial information with others. That's a valid concern, and it's why you should only involve people you trust implicitly: your chosen agent, your attorney, and your healthcare providers. Remember, your privacy is protected by law, and professionals in this field are bound by strict confidentiality rules. Finally, some retirees worry about family dynamics. What if your children disagree or you're worried about hurt feelings? This is where clear communication and professional guidance are invaluable. In my experience, families who address these issues proactively with the help of a trusted advisor are far less likely to encounter conflict or confusion down the road. Remember, the sooner you take these steps, the more control you retain over your medical and financial future. Every month you delay increases the risk that your wishes won't be honored, your assets could be tied up, or your family could face unnecessary hardship. The most successful retirees I work with treat this as a non-negotiable part of their retirement plan, just as important as their Social Security strategy or investment allocation. So far, we've covered the practical, step-by-step actions you can take to secure your healthcare proxy and integrate it into your broader retirement plan. We've talked about reviewing and updating your documents, coordinating with your estate plan, communicating with your loved ones, and ensuring accessibility for your healthcare providers. These are the real-world steps that protect not just your wishes, but your financial security and your family's peace of mind. But before you take action, you need to avoid these critical mistakes that can undo all your careful planning and leave you vulnerable at the worst possible moment. Even the most diligent retirees can fall into these traps if they're not careful, and the financial consequences can be staggering. Before you make your next move, let's look at the most expensive and common mistakes people make with their healthcare proxy and how you can steer clear of them. Part 4. Common Mistakes and Pitfalls. The costly errors that can derail your healthcare proxy. Now that you have a clear step-by-step plan for creating and maintaining a secure healthcare proxy, let's take a closer look at where things most often go wrong. In my decades of guiding retirees through this process, I've seen even the most diligent, well-intentioned people fall into traps that can cost them dearly, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, and more importantly, their peace of mind. These aren't rare, "it'll never happen to me" scenarios. These are the real-world mistakes that I've seen time and again, regardless of how much someone has saved or how carefully they've planned. And the financial consequences can be staggering. Let's walk through the most common and expensive pitfalls so you know exactly what to avoid. The first and most frequent mistake is failing to update your healthcare proxy after a major life change. Life is always moving, families grow, people relocate, relationships evolve. Yet, I've seen countless retirees forget to update their healthcare documents when these changes occur. Here's a true story. A client of mine with over $950,000 in retirement savings moved from Illinois to Arizona to be closer to her grandchildren. She assumed her Illinois healthcare proxy would work just fine in her new state. But when she was hospitalized after a fall, the Arizona hospital refused to recognize her old document. Her family was forced into a court process that cost them more than $18,000 in legal fees and delayed her care by weeks. The warning sign here is simple. If you've moved to a new state, had a change in marital status, or experienced a significant family event, like a divorce or the passing of a spouse, you must update your healthcare proxy within 60 days. If your document is more than 3 years old or from another state, it's time for a review. Don't wait for a crisis to find out it's out of date. The second expensive pitfall is naming the wrong person as your healthcare proxy or not naming an alternate. This is more common than you might think, and the financial and emotional fallout can be severe. In my practice, I've seen retirees name someone out of obligation or habit rather than truly considering who is best equipped to handle the responsibility. Sometimes the person named has moved away, fallen out of touch, or is no longer able to serve due to age or health issues of their own. In one case, a client's healthcare proxy still listed an ex-son-in-law as the primary agent, simply because the document hadn't been reviewed in over a decade. When a medical emergency struck, the family faced a bitter legal battle that drained more than $25,000 from the estate and left relationships permanently strained. The warning sign? If you haven't spoken to your named agent in over a year, or if they live far away and can't easily be present during a crisis, it's time to reconsider your choice. Always name at least one alternate so there's a backup if your first choice is unavailable. The third major mistake is not coordinating your healthcare proxy with your other estate and financial documents. Many retirees assume that their will or financial power of attorney automatically covers healthcare decisions, but that's not the case. I've seen situations where the healthcare proxy names one person, the financial power of attorney names another, and the will provides yet a third set of instructions. This kind of inconsistency can lead to confusion, delays, and costly legal disputes. One family I worked with lost access to over $70,000 in investment accounts for nearly a year, while the courts sorted out conflicting documents, money that was needed for medical care and living expenses. The warning sign here is document mismatch. If you haven't reviewed your estate plan as a whole, or if different documents name different agents, you could be setting your family up for unnecessary hardship. Every few years, bring all your documents to a qualified advisor for a comprehensive review and alignment. The fourth pitfall, which is becoming more common in today's digital age, is failing to make your healthcare proxy easily accessible in an emergency. You might have the most carefully crafted documents in the world, but if no one can find them when they're needed, they might as well not exist. I can't count the number of times I've seen families scrambling through filing cabinets or calling around to lawyers' offices while their loved one lies in a hospital bed. In one case, a retiree had a perfectly valid healthcare proxy, but it was stored in a safe deposit box that only he could access. By the time the family retrieved it, critical decisions had already been made by hospital staff, not according to his wishes. The financial cost? The family incurred over $12,000 in unnecessary procedures and lost precious time. The warning sign here is lack of communication. If your agent and key family members don't know where your documents are, or if your healthcare provider doesn't have a copy on file, you're at risk. Let's pause and recap these pitfalls because they're more common than most people realize. Failing to update after a move or family change, naming the wrong person, or not naming an alternate, not coordinating your proxy with your other legal documents, and not making your documents accessible. Each of these mistakes can cost you anywhere from $12,000 to $70,000, not to mention the emotional toll on your family. Now, I want to address a question I hear all the time. How can I be sure I've covered all my bases? The truth is, the most successful retirees I work with treat their healthcare proxy as a living document, one that's reviewed and updated regularly, just like their investment plan or Social Security strategy. They involve their advisors, communicate with their families, and make sure every piece of the puzzle fits together. This conservative, safety-first approach is what protects your principal, minimizes risk, and gives you the peace of mind you've earned after a lifetime of hard work. Remember, these mistakes aren't just about paperwork. They can have real, lasting consequences for your finances, your health, and your legacy. The sooner you address them, the more control you retain over your future. This is educational content, not personalized financial advice. Always consult with a qualified financial advisor or estate planning attorney to review your specific situation and documents. So far, we've discussed the most common and costly mistakes retirees make with their healthcare proxy and the warning signs that something may be amiss. We've seen how failing to update, naming the wrong person, not coordinating documents, and poor accessibility can each lead to thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars in unnecessary expenses, not to mention stress and family conflict. Once you avoid these traps, you can access advanced strategies that most people never learn. Techniques that not only protect your wishes, but can also optimize your retirement plan, reduce taxes, and ensure your legacy for generations to come. That's just the beginning. Here's where it gets really powerful. Part 5. Advanced Strategies and Optimization, Maximizing the Power of Your Healthcare Proxy. Now that you know how to avoid the most expensive and common mistakes with your healthcare proxy, let's take things to the next level. In my decades of guiding retirees through these decisions, I've found that those who truly thrive in retirement are the ones who go beyond the basics. They don't just avoid pitfalls, they use advanced insider strategies to turn their healthcare proxy into a powerful tool for maximizing control, minimizing taxes, and preserving their legacy. Let's dive into 3 sophisticated techniques that can help you get the absolute most out of your healthcare proxy and related documents. These are strategies that industry insiders and the most successful retirees use, often with dramatic results. The first advanced strategy is integrating your healthcare proxy with your financial power of attorney for seamless asset protection and medical care coordination. Here's how this works. Most retirees have both a healthcare proxy and a separate financial power of attorney, but they don't always ensure these documents work together. By coordinating these two, you empower your chosen agents to make both medical and financial decisions in tandem if you become incapacitated. This is especially important when it comes to paying for healthcare costs, managing insurance claims, and making timely decisions about long-term care or assisted living. Let me give you a real-world example. I worked with a couple in their early 70s who had $1.5 million in retirement accounts. When the husband suffered a stroke, his wife, as healthcare proxy, could make medical decisions, but she wasn't listed on his financial power of attorney. This caused a 2-week delay in accessing funds to pay for his rehabilitation, resulting in nearly $5,000 in out-of-pocket charges that could have been avoided. After reviewing and coordinating their documents, we ensured that their agents could act immediately on both health and financial matters, no matter what happened. The key here is to have your attorney review both documents together, making sure the agents are consistent and your wishes are clearly spelled out. This conservative approach protects your principal and ensures your care is never delayed due to paperwork. The second advanced technique is leveraging your healthcare proxy and living will to optimize Medicaid and long-term care planning. Many retirees don't realize that the way their documents are drafted can directly impact their eligibility for Medicaid and other public benefits, especially if they ever need nursing home care. For example, certain language in your healthcare proxy can authorize your agent to make decisions about long-term care placement, apply for Medicaid, and handle asset transfers that are compliant with federal and state rules. This can mean the difference between qualifying for benefits that cover $8,000 to $12,000 per month in nursing home costs, or having to spend down your own savings first. Here's a case that illustrates this well. A client of mine with a retirement portfolio of $980,000 needed skilled nursing care after an accident. Because her healthcare proxy and financial power of attorney included specific language authorizing Medicaid planning, her agent was able to quickly reposition assets and complete the application process. This saved her family over $75,000 to $90,000 in out-of-pocket costs in the first year alone. The tax implications here are significant. By properly structuring asset transfers and ensuring your agent has the right authority, you can minimize capital gains taxes and avoid unnecessary penalties. Always consult a qualified elder law attorney to ensure your documents are compliant with current Medicaid rules in your state. The third advanced strategy is incorporating healthcare directives into your overall estate and tax planning to reduce the risk of unnecessary taxes, probate delays, and family disputes. Many retirees don't realize that healthcare decisions can directly affect the timing and distribution of their assets. For instance, if your healthcare proxy and living will clearly outline your wishes regarding end-of-life care, you can help your family avoid drawn-out court proceedings or disagreements that could freeze your accounts for months. This is particularly important if you have significant assets in IRAs, 401ks, or taxable brokerage accounts. Let's look at a real example. One client with $2.2 million in combined retirement and investment assets had a healthcare proxy that was closely coordinated with her estate plan. When she passed away, there were no disputes or delays. Her assets were distributed according to her wishes, and the estate avoided significant costs in probate and legal fees and legal costs. Additionally, by timing certain medical and financial decisions, such as the withdrawal of funds to pay for care, her family was able to minimize required minimum distributions, RMDs, and reduce her taxable income in her final year significantly. The lesson here is clear. A well-integrated healthcare proxy can do far more than protect your medical wishes. It can also be a powerful tool for tax efficiency and legacy planning. Let's pause and recap these advanced strategies because each one can have a significant impact on your retirement security and your family's future. First, by coordinating your healthcare proxy with your financial power of attorney, you ensure seamless decision-making and avoid costly delays. Second, by including Medicaid and long-term care planning language, you protect your assets and increase your chances of qualifying for benefits that can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over time. Third, by integrating your healthcare directives with your estate and tax plan, you reduce the risk of probate delays, minimize taxes, and safeguard your legacy. Now, you might be wondering, how do I actually implement these advanced strategies? The answer is careful timing and expert guidance. In my experience, the retirees who get the most benefit are those who review and update their documents every 2 to 3 years, or whenever there's a major life event, like a marriage, divorce, move, or significant change in health. Working closely with a qualified financial advisor and an elder law attorney is essential. This is educational content, not personalized financial advice. Always consult with professionals who understand your specific situation and state laws. Remember, the window for optimizing your healthcare proxy and related documents can close quickly if you wait too long. Every year you delay could cost you thousands in missed benefits, unnecessary taxes, or legal expenses. The key to success is getting your timing exactly right. Review, update, and coordinate your documents before a crisis hits. So far, we've covered the most powerful advanced strategies for maximizing the benefits of your healthcare proxy and protecting your retirement assets. But even with the best plan in place, the real world can throw you some curveballs. What happens if you hit a roadblock during implementation? What if there are disagreements, unexpected legal issues, or changes in your health or family situation? Even if you follow this perfectly, you might encounter these common roadblocks, and knowing how to navigate them can make all the difference. Let's explore the most frequent challenges retirees face when putting these strategies into practice and the practical solutions that can keep your plan on track. Part 6. Implementation Timeline and Sequence, your 90-day roadmap to a secure healthcare proxy. Now that you've learned both the foundational steps and the advanced strategies for maximizing your healthcare proxy, let's bring all of this together into a concrete action plan. In my decades of helping retirees protect their wishes and savings, I've found that the most successful outcomes come from a clear step-by-step timeline. When you break the process into manageable pieces, it becomes less overwhelming and ensures nothing slips through the cracks. This isn't just about getting it done, it's about getting it done right, with the right timing. Let's walk through a proven 90-day timeline that I've used with thousands of clients. I'll show you what to do first, second, and third, with specific deadlines and reminders, so you stay on track. Remember, this is educational content, not personalized financial advice. For your unique situation, always consult with a qualified financial advisor or estate planning attorney. Day 1 to 30, the discovery and preparation phase. During the first month, your primary goal is to gather, review, and assess all your current documents. Start by locating your existing healthcare proxy, living will, power of attorney, and any related directives. If you can't find these documents, or if they're more than 3 years old, make a note to address this with your advisor. Set aside a quiet afternoon, ideally within the first week, to go through each document. Check the date of execution, the state where it was signed, and the names of your designated agents. As I always tell my clients, if you've moved states, experienced a significant family change, or haven't updated your documents in over 3 years, you're already at risk. Don't delay. Mark this review on your calendar and treat it as seriously as a doctor's appointment. By day 15, reach out to a qualified estate planning attorney or elder law specialist. If you're unsure where to start, ask your financial advisor for a referral or contact your local bar association. Schedule your appointment within the next 2 weeks. Many attorneys have waiting lists, so the sooner you call, the sooner you'll be on their calendar. If you're concerned about cost, remember that many communities offer free or low-cost legal clinics for seniors. The investment typically ranges from a few hundred to around $1,500, pales in comparison to the tens of thousands you could lose if your documents are out of date. By day 30, you should have your meeting scheduled and your documents ready to review. If possible, prepare a list of questions and concerns such as, are my documents valid in my current state? Do my healthcare proxy and power of attorney name the same agents? Am I missing any required forms for Medicaid or long-term care planning? The retirees I've seen have the smoothest process are the ones who come prepared and ask detailed questions. Days 31 to 60, the review and coordination phase. This next 30-day window is critical. During this phase, you'll work with your attorney or advisor to review, update, and coordinate your healthcare proxy and related documents. At your appointment, ideally by day 40, go through each document together. Make sure your primary and alternate agents are still able and willing to serve. Confirm that your documents comply with current state laws and reflect your current wishes. If you're incorporating advanced strategies such as Medicaid planning or tax-efficient asset transfers, now is the time to add the necessary language. Ask your attorney to ensure your healthcare proxy authorizes your agent to make long-term care decisions, apply for public benefits, and handle any required asset repositioning. This is also the phase where you'll integrate your healthcare proxy with your financial power of attorney, living will, and estate plan. Consistency is key. conflicting documents can cause costly delays and disputes. By day 50, review draft copies of your updated documents. Take this time to read through them carefully. If anything is unclear or doesn't match your wishes, flag it for revision. The most successful retirees I work with always do a final read-through before signing. Never rush this step. By day 60, sign your updated documents in accordance with your state's requirements. Most states require 2 witnesses or a notary public. Your attorney will guide you through the process. Make sure you obtain several certified copies, at least 3 to 5, so you can distribute them to the right people and institutions. Days 61 to 90. The communication and distribution phase. With your documents signed and finalized, it's time to make them work for you. Within the first week of this phase, by day 70, set up a meeting or phone call with your designated healthcare agent and any alternates. Explain your wishes, the responsibilities involved, and where your documents are stored. In my experience, clear communication at this stage prevents 90% of the confusion and conflict that can arise during a crisis. By day 75, distribute copies of your healthcare proxy and related documents to your primary care physician, any specialists you see regularly, and your preferred hospital. Many medical systems now allow you to upload advanced directives directly to your patient portal. Ask your providers about this option. If you travel frequently or split time between states, consider storing digital copies in a secure online vault and give your agent access instructions. By day 80, confirm that your financial advisor and any other key professionals have copies or know where to find them. If you have a safe deposit box, make sure your agent has access rights. If you use a home safe, provide the combination or key to your agent or a trusted backup. By day 90, review your entire plan one more time. Walk through a hypothetical scenario. If you were hospitalized tomorrow, would your agent and providers have everything they need to honor your wishes? Are your documents consistent, accessible, and up to date? If you identify any gaps, address them immediately. The most successful retirees I've worked with treat this as a routine checkup, repeating the review every 2 to 3 years or after any major life event. Important deadlines and dates. Recap. Day 1 through 7. Locate and review all current documents. Days 8 to 15. Schedule an appointment with a qualified attorney. Days 16 to 30. Prepare questions and gather supporting materials. Days 31 to 40. Meet with your attorney or advisor. Days 41 to 50. Review and revise draft documents. Days 51 to 60. Sign and notarize updated documents. Days 61 to 70. Communicate with your agent and family. Days 71 to 80. Distribute documents to healthcare providers and advisors. Days 81 to 90. Conduct a final review and close any gaps. Remember, every step in this 90-day timeline is designed to minimize risk, maximize your control, and protect your retirement savings. The sooner you act, the more peace of mind you'll have, knowing your wishes will be honored and your family will be spared unnecessary stress and expense. So far, we've covered a detailed, step-by-step sequence for updating and optimizing your healthcare proxy with specific deadlines to keep you on track. But even if you follow this plan perfectly, real life can throw you some curveballs. You might encounter resistance from family members, run into unexpected legal questions, or face changes in your health or financial situation. Even if you follow this perfectly, you might encounter these common roadblocks. In the next section, I'll show you how to troubleshoot the most frequent challenges retirees face and the practical solutions that can keep your plan on track no matter what life brings. Part 7. Troubleshooting and Problem Solving. Overcoming the most common healthcare proxy challenges. Even with a clear plan and a well-organized 90-day timeline, life has a way of introducing unexpected complications. In my decades of helping retirees protect their healthcare wishes and financial security, I've seen that even the most meticulous seniors can encounter roadblocks. The good news is, with a little foresight and the right guidance, you can navigate these challenges without jeopardizing your peace of mind or your retirement savings. Let's talk through some of the most common implementation challenges you might face, along with proven solutions and real-world what-if scenarios. Remember, this is educational content, not personalized financial advice. Always consult with a qualified financial advisor or estate planning attorney for your specific situation. Challenge 1: Family disagreements and emotional resistance. One of the most frequent and emotionally charged issues I see is family conflict over healthcare decisions. Perhaps your children don't agree with your choice of healthcare proxy, or there's tension about your medical wishes. I've seen siblings who haven't spoken in years suddenly thrust into high-stress situations, sometimes resulting in expensive legal battles or fractured relationships. What if your children disagree with your chosen agent or question your wishes? The solution starts with clear, proactive communication. In my experience, the most successful retirees hold a family meeting, either in person or virtually, shortly after updating their documents. Explain your decisions calmly and clearly, emphasizing that your choice is about your comfort and security, not favoritism. If emotions run high, consider inviting your attorney or a neutral third party to facilitate the conversation. If conflict persists, document your wishes in writing. Include a personal letter alongside your healthcare proxy, explaining your decisions and values. This letter isn't legally binding, but it provides powerful guidance in a crisis. I've seen families avoid costly disputes, sometimes saving $20,000 or more in legal fees, simply because the retiree took the time to communicate their intentions directly. The key is to address disagreements before they become emergencies. Challenge 2: Inaccessible or lost documents. Another common pitfall is the inability to produce your healthcare proxy when it's needed most. You might have completed every step perfectly, but if your agent, family, or healthcare providers can't find the documents, your wishes may not be honored. I've seen situations where a retiree's carefully prepared proxy was locked in a safe deposit box, and the family couldn't access it for days. In one case, this delay resulted in $9,000 of unwanted medical procedures and significant family distress. What if your agent can't locate your documents in an emergency? The solution is redundancy and accessibility. After signing your updated proxy, make multiple copies, one for your agent, one for your alternate agent, one for your primary care doctor, and one for your preferred hospital. If you use a safe deposit box or home safe, ensure your agent has access rights and knows how to retrieve the documents. Many healthcare providers now offer secure digital storage for advanced directives. Ask your doctor or hospital if they can upload your proxy to your electronic medical record. For added security, consider a secure cloud-based storage service and share access instructions with your agent. The most successful retirees I work with review document access every year during their annual financial checkup. Challenge 3: Legal or state-specific hurdles. Not all states treat healthcare proxies the same way. If you move, spend significant time in multiple states, or have assets in more than one jurisdiction, you may find that your documents aren't recognized where you need them most. For example, some states require specific witness signatures, notarization, or unique forms. In my experience, failing to update your documents after a move can result in expensive delays and legal confusion, sometimes costing families $15,000 or more in court fees and lost time. What if you split your time between two states or recently relocated? The solution is to consult with an estate planning attorney licensed in your new state. Review your healthcare proxy and related documents for compliance with local laws. Ask your attorney to draft a multi-state directive if you travel frequently or own property in multiple locations. In some cases, you may need to execute documents in each relevant state to ensure full coverage. Regular reviews, at least every 3 years or after any move, are the best way to stay protected. Challenge 4. Changes in health or family circumstances. Life doesn't stand still. Your health can change quickly, or your family situation may evolve in ways you didn't expect. Perhaps your chosen agent becomes ill, moves away, or is no longer willing or able to serve. In one case, I saw a retiree's primary and alternate agents both became unavailable within 6 months, leaving the family scrambling to update documents during a medical emergency. The cost was not only financial, over $7,000 in rushed legal fees, but emotional as well. What if your agent's situation changes suddenly? The solution is to review your healthcare proxy and related documents every 2 to 3 years, or immediately after any major life event, such as a marriage, divorce, death, or relocation. If your agent can no longer serve, update your documents right away. Always name at least one alternate agent and keep an open line of communication with everyone involved. The most successful retirees I've worked with treat this as a living process, not a one-time event. They remain flexible and proactive, adapting their plan as life unfolds. Let's pause and recap these troubleshooting strategies. Family disagreements are best handled with clear, early communication and written explanations of your wishes. Document accessibility is critical. Make multiple copies, use digital storage, and confirm access annually. State-specific legal hurdles require local expertise and regular reviews, especially after a move. Finally, changes in health or family require immediate document updates and open communication with your agents. Remember, the sooner you address these challenges, the more control you retain over your health care and your finances. The most successful retirees I've helped are those who anticipate problems, seek professional guidance, and stay flexible as life changes. This conservative, safety-first approach is what preserves your principal, minimizes risk, and gives you true peace of mind. So far, we've covered the most common roadblocks you might face when implementing your healthcare proxy and the solutions that keep your plan strong and effective. We've explored what happens if family members disagree, if documents are inaccessible, if state laws change, or if your agent's situation evolves. Each challenge has a clear, practical solution if you know what to look for and act quickly. Once you master this foundation, you're ready for the next level, advanced techniques that can help you optimize your healthcare proxy for maximum protection, tax efficiency, and legacy planning. In the next section, I'll show you how to take your plan even further so you can ensure your wishes are honored and your family's future is secure for years to come. Part 8. Next Level Actions and Optimization. Maximizing results and safeguarding your legacy for the long run. By now, you've learned how to build a rock-solid healthcare proxy, avoid costly mistakes, and troubleshoot the most common roadblocks that can arise. But if you're like many of the affluent retirees I've worked with over the last 30-plus years, you're not just looking to get by. You want to maximize the benefits of your planning, future-proof your documents, and ensure your family's financial security for decades to come. This is where next-level actions and optimization come into play. Techniques that go beyond the basics and help you scale your strategy as your life and wealth evolve. Let's talk about how you can take your healthcare proxy and related planning to the highest standard, so you're not just protected, but positioned to adapt and thrive, no matter what the future brings. 1. Building a living healthcare proxy system. Most people treat their healthcare proxy as a one-and-done document. But the most successful retirees know that life is dynamic. Family structures change, medical advances happen, laws evolve, and your own wishes might shift as you age. That's why I recommend building a living healthcare proxy system, one that's reviewed and refreshed regularly, much like a well-maintained investment portfolio. How do you do this? Schedule a standing review every 2 years or immediately after any major life event, such as a marriage, divorce, birth of a grandchild, new diagnosis, or significant move. Mark it on your calendar just as you would for annual tax planning or a required minimum distribution (RMD) check. During these reviews, revisit not only your healthcare proxy, but also your living will, financial power of attorney, and beneficiary designations across all accounts. This single habit can save your estate tens of thousands of dollars in unnecessary legal fees and ensure your documents are always state compliant and up to date. 2. Scaling your strategy for complex family or financial situations. Affluent retirees often have more complex family trees, blended families, adult children from prior marriages, or beneficiaries with special needs. You may also have larger or more diverse asset holdings, such as multiple homes, investment properties, or significant charitable intentions. In these cases, scaling your healthcare proxy strategy requires additional layers of protection. One advanced technique is to use a springing healthcare power of attorney, which only becomes active upon a specific medical event or incapacity determination. This can provide extra peace of mind if you want to maintain control as long as possible, but ensure a seamless transition if you can't make decisions yourself. Another approach is to create a healthcare trust or include specific medical directives within your revocable living trust. This allows your trustee to coordinate both your healthcare and financial decisions, preventing gaps or conflicts between documents. If you have a special needs beneficiary, work with your attorney to ensure your healthcare proxy and related documents don't inadvertently jeopardize their eligibility for government benefits. The right language can make all the difference, and a coordinated plan can protect both your wishes and your loved one's long-term security. 3. Long-term tax and legacy planning integration. Many retirees don't realize that healthcare decisions can have ripple effects on their overall estate and tax situation. For example, the timing of certain medical interventions, withdrawals from retirement accounts, or the payment of long-term care costs can impact your taxable income, Social Security benefits, and even the value of your estate for your heirs. One optimization I've seen work especially well is aligning your healthcare proxy and financial power of attorney with your tax planning strategy. For instance, if your agent needs to authorize a large withdrawal from your IRA or 401k to cover medical expenses, having clear instructions can help minimize the tax impact, potentially saving your estate $10,000, $20,000, or more, depending on your income bracket and withdrawal timing. Additionally, if you plan to leave charitable bequests or set up a donor-advised fund, make sure your healthcare proxy and estate documents give your agent the authority to fulfill these wishes in the event of incapacity. Another long-term consideration is the integration of your healthcare proxy with your digital legacy. As more of your financial and medical records move online, make sure your agent has access to necessary passwords, online portals, and digital assets. This can prevent delays and ensure your wishes are honored in a world that's increasingly paperless. 4th, leveraging professional support for ongoing optimization. The wealthiest and best protected retirees I've worked with never go it alone. They build relationships with trusted professionals, financial advisors, estate planning attorneys, tax strategists, and sometimes even geriatric care managers. These experts can help you spot opportunities for improvement, navigate changing laws, and respond quickly to life's curveballs. Consider setting up an annual or biennial family summit with your advisor team and key family members. Use this time to review your healthcare proxy, discuss any changes, and update everyone on your wishes and strategy. If you're part of a blended family or have significant charitable interests, this kind of meeting can prevent misunderstandings and foster harmony for years to come. Remember, this is educational content, not personalized financial advice. For your specific needs, always consult with a qualified financial advisor and estate planning attorney, especially as your situation becomes more complex. 5. Preparing for the unexpected. emergency readiness, and scalability. Even with the best-laid plans, emergencies can happen. That's why your next-level strategy should include emergency readiness. Store digital copies of your healthcare proxy and related documents in a secure, cloud-based vault, one that your agent and alternate can access from anywhere, even if they're traveling or living out of state. Update your primary care physician, specialists, and preferred hospital with the latest versions. If you have a medical alert device or online health portal, make sure your proxy information is linked or referenced there. If you're a snowbird or travel frequently, consider executing healthcare proxies in each state where you spend significant time. This ensures your wishes are recognized no matter where you are. I've seen retirees save months of legal hassle and thousands of dollars in delayed care simply by taking this extra step. 6. Reviewing and optimizing for policy and law changes. Healthcare laws, tax codes, and even hospital policies change more frequently than most people realize. For example, changes to HIPAA regulations, Medicaid eligibility, or state-specific advanced directive requirements can impact the effectiveness of your documents. The most successful retirees I've worked with stay informed through annual reviews with their legal and financial team. They ask questions like, has my state changed its requirements for healthcare proxies? Or are there new tax planning opportunities I should consider in light of recent law changes? Long-term peace of mind. Let's pause and recap these next-level strategies. By treating your healthcare proxy as a living document, scaling your plan for complex family or financial needs, integrating your directives with tax and legacy planning, leveraging professional support, preparing for emergencies, and staying ahead of policy changes, you build a plan that's not only secure today, but resilient for the future. The wealthiest, most prepared retirees I've advised always take these extra steps. They know that every year they stay proactive, they're protecting not just their own wishes, but the well-being and security of their loved ones. And that's a legacy worth leaving. Now, you might be wondering, how do I pull all of this together and make sure I haven't missed a step? In the next section, I'll guide you through a comprehensive recap and provide a checklist you can use to ensure your healthcare proxy and your entire retirement plan are truly bulletproof. What I'm about to show you will surprise even experienced investors. Over the past hour, we've covered a tremendous amount of ground together, delving into the hidden dangers, practical solutions, and advanced strategies surrounding healthcare proxies for retirees. Let me pause and acknowledge that your investment of time today is not just entertainment, it's valuable financial education. The knowledge you've gained could save you and your family thousands of dollars, countless hours of stress, and ensure your wishes are honored when it matters most. This represents decades of experience distilled into practical guidance, wisdom forged from helping thousands of retirees optimize their financial and legal security. Let's briefly recap the 8 key insights we've explored. First, we identified the shocking reality that over 60% of American seniors either lack a valid healthcare proxy or have one that's dangerously outdated, exposing themselves to unnecessary financial and emotional risk. Second, we revealed the true financial costs of neglect, from legal fees to frozen assets and lost control over medical decisions. Third, we introduced the core solution, a coordinated, up-to-date healthcare directive package that integrates your proxy with your estate and financial plans. Fourth, we walked through a step-by-step implementation process, locating documents, consulting professionals, and ensuring accessibility. Fifth, we exposed the most common and expensive mistakes, like failing to update after life changes or naming the wrong agent. Sixth, we unlocked advanced optimization strategies, including Medicaid planning, tax efficiency, and multi-state coverage. Seventh, we tackled real-world troubleshooting, how to handle family conflict, lost documents, or changes in health and law. And eighth, we showed how next-level actions like ongoing reviews, digital integration, and family summits can future-proof your plan and scale protection as your life evolves. Now that you understand each piece, here's how they work together. When you implement this comprehensive approach, you create a system that's greater than the sum of its parts. Your healthcare proxy isn't just a form, it becomes a living, breathing shield that protects your autonomy, your savings, and your family's peace of mind. The compound effect is real. A retiree following this complete approach typically saves $20,000 to $50,000 in avoided legal fees, unnecessary medical costs, and tax inefficiencies over their retirement. More importantly, they gain the confidence that comes from knowing their wishes will be honored and their loved ones protected. This is why wealthy retirees often outperform those with more starting capital. They leverage knowledge, discipline, and proactive planning to create lasting security and legacy. Let me emphasize this important point. What separates financially secure retirees from those who struggle is usually knowledge and implementation. The most successful clients I've worked with consistently apply these principles, review their plans every few years, and seek professional guidance when needed. After helping retirees navigate multiple market cycles and life transitions, I can tell you this system works and it's within your reach. So, what are your next steps? Here's a clear, actionable roadmap you can follow in the next 30 days. Step 1. Assessment phase. Your first week. Start by gathering 3 essential documents: your current healthcare proxy, living will, and financial power of attorney. Calculate your current position by checking the date, state, and agents listed on each. Identify your biggest opportunity area. Maybe your documents are outdated, incomplete, or inconsistent. If you can't find your documents, or if they're more than 3 years old, put this at the top of your priority list. Step 2. Planning phase, second week. Create your personalized timeline based on your age, family situation, and state of residence. Research the specific options we discussed, such as multi-state proxies, Medicaid planning language, or digital document storage, that apply to your unique needs. Document your current strategy and compare it to what you've learned today. Are there gaps, inconsistencies, or missed opportunities for optimization? Step 3. Professional consultation, third week. Schedule a meeting with a qualified financial advisor and an estate planning attorney. Bring these specific questions. Are my documents compliant with current state law? Do my agents have the right authority for both healthcare and financial matters? Is my plan optimized for tax efficiency and long-term care? Verify that your advisor understands these advanced strategies and can coordinate with your legal team. Step 4. Implementation begins, fourth week. Start with the lowest risk, highest impact change, often updating your healthcare proxy and ensuring all documents are accessible to your agent and providers. Set up the systems and accounts needed for your new strategy, such as secure cloud storage or multi-state directives. Begin tracking your progress with simple metrics. Are your documents up to date, accessible, and aligned with your wishes? Each step forward compounds your protection and peace of mind. Step 5. Ongoing review and communication. Most successful retirees implement these changes gradually over 6 to 12 months with annual or biennial reviews. Don't let perfectionism hold you back. Small improvements add up. Continue communicating with your agents and family members, updating them as your wishes or circumstances evolve. Remember, every financial and legal strategy carries some level of risk. The goal isn't perfection, it's optimization based on your unique situation and values. These aren't get-rich-quick schemes. They're proven, long-term systems that preserve your independence, dignity, and legacy. Most retirees' biggest regret is waiting too long to act. The cost of inaction often exceeds the cost of making imperfect but informed decisions. You now have knowledge that many retirees never acquire. Use it to your advantage. You are now part of a community of informed retirees who refuse to settle for average. The journey to financial and legal optimization is ongoing. Markets change, Laws evolve and families grow. Continue your education by staying informed about retirement planning developments, healthcare law changes, and estate optimization strategies. Share your success stories and lessons learned. You'll both inspire and learn from others who are on this same path. If this video helped clarify your retirement planning strategy, please give it a thumbs up. It lets us know we're providing the guidance you value. Share your biggest takeaway in the comments below. Which strategy will you implement first, or what surprised you most about the risks and solutions we covered? Subscribe for more in-depth retirement planning guidance that could save you thousands and give you the peace of mind you deserve. Most importantly, take action on what you've learned. Your future self and your family will thank you. Remember, this has been educational content designed to inform your decision-making. Every individual's financial and legal situation is unique. What works for one person may not be optimal for another. Always consult with qualified financial, tax, and legal professionals before making significant changes. Past performance of any strategy doesn't guarantee future results, and the tax implications we discussed may change based on future legislation. While this information provides a strong foundation, professional guidance is invaluable. A qualified financial advisor can help you customize these strategies for your specific situation. Tax professionals can ensure you're maximizing benefits while staying compliant, and estate planning attorneys can help with the legal aspects we discussed. You'll know you're on the right track when your financial and healthcare stress decreases, when you have clear answers to the questions that once kept you up at night, and when you feel the confidence that comes from making informed, proactive decisions. The goal is progress, not perfection. Small improvements compound over time, and your experience and wisdom, combined with these strategies, create a powerful advantage. Imagine the peace of mind that comes from knowing you've optimized every aspect of your retirement plan. Sleep better tonight, knowing your wishes are protected, your family's future is secure, and your legacy is in good hands. You've worked too hard to accept anything less. Thank you for joining me on this journey to safeguard your healthcare decisions and retirement security. Your next step could make all the difference. So take it, and let's continue building your optimal retirement together.